Hi there, I'm DJ Waldow, and I turned 50 on February 23rd, 2026, also known as 2 days from now. Over the past 47 days, I've shared one thing that I've learned over the almost 50 years on this planet. Today's thing, trust your gut. A couple years back, I was at Starbucks, and a guy entered, and something just felt off. There's a much more detailed story that I won't go into today, but let's just say this guy felt creepy. And two high school age girls had approached him, and the conversation was just off. I could sense it. I could feel it in my gut. Something was wrong. As he left Starbucks with those two girls, I approached him and I asked him directly what he was doing. And he got extremely defensive and started screaming at me. He did end up leaving with those girls. There was nothing I could do to stop him other than physically assaulting him, which I wasn't prepared to do. Now, fast forward, the girls ended up being fine, but I am certain that something bad was happening or something he intended to do was bad. I tell this story because there was something deep down in my gut the moment he walked into that Starbucks where I knew something was off. I knew my intuition, something told me something was off. The other part of that story, there was actually another woman that walked out with me. She had the same feeling. And by the way, when I walked back into Starbucks, I talked to all the baristas and other people in the Starbucks that day, and many of us had that same gut feeling that something was off. I tell that story not to be a downer, but as an example of why I believe it's so important to trust our guts, to trust our instincts. There's something there. I've noticed over the years that my first instinct, my gut feeling, is often right, but certainly not always. When I was in high school and college and I took tests with multiple choice questions, I always remember people saying, whatever you guess first, that's usually the correct answer. I don't know if there's a lot of data to support that necessarily, but that's similar to that gut feeling. Whatever you believe is right. Now, in this case, if you had studied for that test, your first guess probably is more likely to be right. But there is some research that shows that experts make rapid decisions, often without conscious analysis. And often these decisions are correct. Part of this is because they've seen this thing over and over again, whatever it is. So sometimes trusting your gut is because you've been in that situation before, or you've seen that type of question before. So your gut tends to work when you have experience, when you've seen something for the second or third or 100th time before, or you've gotten feedback in some way over time to tell you that that gut or that intuition is more likely to be correct. But your gut tends to fail you when something you're evaluating is really emotional, or you have a lot of anger around something, or fear, or if it's something that's brand new that you've never experienced before, or oftentimes when your ego is involved and you want to be right. I think the problem with not trusting your gut is that we spiral and we second guess things and we actually don't get stuff done because we're so busy trying to figure out if we're getting the right answer. Instead, if we just trust our gut, more often than not, we're going to be correct. And sometimes in these situations, we make the wrong decisions. Or like I said, we just make no decision because we're spiraling. We're thinking about what we should do instead of just leaning into what our intuition or our gut says. Like I've said in other episodes before, you have to sometimes ask yourself when you go for it, what's the worst that's going to happen? If you're trusting your gut or your intuition, you should feel calm and very clear-minded. If something is urgent and loud, it often means you have some sort of anxiety around it. When you're trusting your gut, sometimes it's about choosing discomfort. Sometimes it's about figuring it out. And sometimes it's just doing what you say you're going to do. So if you're trusting your gut or your intuition, you should feel calm and very clear-minded. If something is urgent and loud, it often means you have some sort of anxiety around it. When you're trusting your gut, sometimes it's about choosing discomfort. Sometimes it's about figuring it out. And sometimes it's just doing what you say you're going to do. All right, that is it. That is thing number 48. Trust your gut. You know what that means? We only have 2 episodes left, Sunday and then Monday. 2 more episodes. That is it. But it's not too late to go to social media and follow and like and subscribe. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, 50things.co. Add your email address. There might be a season 2. I don't know. I can't make any promises, but you'll want to be on the list, I hope. All right, that's all I have for now. Tomorrow is Sunday for thing number 49, the penultimate episode. Thank you.